Hi everyone, welcome back to JDCodebase, and today we are going to implement queue operation using the linked list in JavaScript. This is a part of our DSA in JavaScript series. So far we already learned about queue using arrays. Now we will see how to build a queue using linked list step by step. So let's quickly recap what a queue is. A queue is a linear data structure that follows the FIFO, first in, first out. The element that goes in first come out first, just like people standing in a queue at a ticket counter. There are some main operation in a queue. Enqueue, add an element at the end. Dequeue, remove the element from the front. Peek, check which element is at front without removing it. IsEmpty, check whether the queue has any element or not. So let's move on. Now you might ask, why use a linked list for a queue when we already did it with an array? So linked lists have a dynamic size, so we do not worry about defining a fixed array length. Insertion and deletion at both ends are more efficient. No shifting of element like arrays, and it is idle when the data size keep changing or is unpredictable. So let's building our linked list based queue. So let's move to VS Code and write code. So first we will create a simple node class. Each node will store a value and a next pointer. So class node and constructor, and it takes a value, and this dot value equal to value, and this dot next is equal to null. Now here, so what happening is every node will hold the data, and that is the value, and a link to the next node, and the next is a pretty simple start. So now we will create the queue class queue constructor, and it takes this dot front equal to null, this dot rear equal to null. So initially both are the null because the queue is empty. Front will point to the first node in the queue and rear will point to the last node in the queue. So now add our first operation enqueue, which add a new element to the rear of the queue. So let's write enqueue. It takes value and first created new node equal to new node with the value. Yes. Then check whether if this dot front is empty or means null or not. If yes, then this dot front equal to this dot rear equal to new node. Means this is the initial point, first element in the queue. Else this dot rear dot next is equal to new node, and this dot rear equal to new node. So let me explain in a simple word what we are doing in this enqueue. If the queue is empty, here we just create a new node by using this and check whether this queue is empty, and then both front and rear will point to the new node. Otherwise we just attach the new node to the end and move the rear pointer forward by using this dot rear is equal to new node. So that is the enqueue done. Next one is the dequeue operation, which remove the element from the front of the queue. So dequeue, and check whether if this dot front, then console.log queue is empty and return null. Else we have to const means we take the value this dot front dot value, which is we have to remove, and this dot front equal to this dot front dot next. We update the front, and if this dot front is empty means null, then this dot rear equal to null also. Queue becomes empty, and in last return value here. So here what happens is if the queue is empty, by we just print a message queue is empty here, and then otherwise we take the value of the front const value is equal to this dot front dot value, and move the front pointer ahead by this dot front is equal to this dot front dot next. And if the queue becomes empty, and after that we also reset the rear value to null, and that is how we remove the first element. Next is the peek of the peek function, just to see the front element without removing it. So peek, and it first we check whether this dot front is empty or not. If yes, then we just print queue is empty and return null. Else we just return this dot front dot value. So if there is no element, we just show the queue is empty, otherwise we just print the return the value at the front. So it is very simple. Next one is the check is empty or not, means our queue is empty or not. Is empty and return this dot front equal to null or not. So this will return true if the front is null, that means no element are present in this queue. And now let's make one smaller helper function to display our queue. For that, display means this is used for just to print this queue, and let current equal to this dot front, and let the result equal to empty string, and run a while loop till the current. Just add this result, current dot value plus, and we have to update this current every time. Current equal to current dot next. So in last we have to just print console.log this result, and we have just add this null. So we start from the front and keep printing value one by one and stop when we reach the null, and this will help us to see our queue is a nicely visual way. So let's make test everything together. First const queue is equal to new queue, and just queue dot enqueue 10 queue dot enqueue 20 queue dot enqueue 30. So I just enqueue 3 queue dot enqueue 10 20 and 30, and queue dot display. So let's run this node 33, and then see 10 20 and 30 is printed here. Print